Lost love. It was a misty autumn morning when I stumbled upon the old stone bridge, hidden deep within the woods outside my hometown. The leaves, painted in hues of gold and crimson, blanketed the ground, and the air carried the faint scent of earth and rain. I hadn't planned to venture this far, but something unexplainable had pulled me away from my usual path. The bridge looked ancient, its arches weathered but sturdy, and moss crept over the stones like a protective shield. What caught my attention wasn't the bridge itself, but the girl standing at its center. She was gazing down at the stream below, her long, flowing hair a cascade of dark waves that shimmered in the pale sunlight. She wore a dress that seemed out of time, delicate and lace-trimmed, as though plucked from a sepia-toned photograph. The sight of her took my breath away, and for a moment, I felt like I had stepped into a dream. "Hello," I called hesitantly, stepping closer. She turned to me, startled, her wide, amber eyes locking with mine. A gentle smile broke across her face. "Hello," she said, her voice soft and melodic. "I didn't mean to frighten you," I said quickly. I've never seen anyone here before." "I could say the same," she replied, her gaze shifting to the forest behind me. "Few people venture this far." There was something ethereal about her, something that didn't quite fit. "Do you live nearby?" I asked, desperate to keep the conversation going. She hesitated, her expression clouding. "Not exactly. I come here when I can." We talked for what felt like hours, though the sun barely moved in the sky. Her name was Elara, and she spoke of the woods with a familiarity that bordered on reverence. She told me about the stream's hidden bends, the ancient trees that stood like guardians, and the quiet magic of the forest. But when I asked about her life beyond the woods, she grew distant. "It's not important," she said, brushing the question aside. "What matters is here. Now." When I finally noticed the time, I was shocked to see the sky darkening. "I should go," I said reluctantly. "But maybe I'll see you again." Elara smiled faintly, sadness flickering in her eyes. "Perhaps. But be careful crossing this bridge. It doesn't always lead you where you expect." Her words stayed with me as I walked home, and I couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to Elara, and the bridge, than I understood. A strange discovery. I returned the next day, eager to see her again. The bridge was there, as silent and still as before, but Elara was nowhere to be found. I called her name, searched the woods, but there was no trace of her. Days turned into weeks, and though I visited the bridge every morning and evening, she never appeared. The forest seemed quieter, almost mournful, and I began to wonder if I had imagined her altogether. Then, one cold evening as the first frost settled on the ground, an old man at the town's pub overheard me asking about the bridge. He leaned in, his eyes narrowing. "You've seen her, haven't you?" he asked in a hushed tone. "Seen who?" I replied, my heart quickening. "The girl on the bridge," he said. "Elara. She's been there for centuries." I laughed nervously. "That's impossible. She's just a girl." I spoke to her. The man shook his head. "She's not just a girl. She's a spirit, bound to that bridge since the day it was built. They say she was the daughter of a poor farmer, in love with the son of a wealthy lord. When her family forbade the match, she fled to the woods, hoping to meet him at the bridge where they'd planned to run away together. But he never came." "What happened to her?" I asked, though I wasn't sure I wanted to know. "She waited until dawn, but the cold claimed her. They found her the next morning, her hands clutching a single flower. Since then, she's been waiting, for him, for anyone who might take her across the bridge to the life she never had. I felt a chill crawl down my spine. But I saw her, I insisted. She was alive. She spoke to me. The old man nodded. She always does. But mark my words, if you see her again, be careful. The bridge has a way of binding those who linger too long. A final meeting, despite his warning, I returned to the bridge, determined to find her. Days passed, then weeks, and just as I began to lose hope, she appeared again, her figure luminous in the soft glow of twilight. Elara. I called, running toward her. She turned, her smile tinged with sorrow. You came back. I had to, I said. I couldn't stop thinking about you. About what you said. Her gaze dropped to the ground. You shouldn't be here. It's dangerous. I don't care, I said, stepping closer. I'll take you across the bridge. I'll take you wherever you want to go. Tears welled in her eyes as she reached out to touch my hand. Her fingers were cold, but her touch sent warmth coursing through me. It's too late for me, she whispered. But not for you. Promise me you'll leave before dawn. No, I said firmly. I won't leave you. The forest grew still, the air heavy with an unseen force. Elara's grip tightened. If you stay, you'll be bound here too. Please, go. For me. Tears blurred my vision as I realized the truth. No matter how much I loved her, she was part of the bridge, part of the past. I'll come back, I promised, my voice breaking. I'll find a way to free you. Elara smiled, her form shimmering like a fading dream. You already have. As the first rays of dawn pierced the horizon, she vanished, leaving me alone on the bridge with only the memory of her touch. And though the years have passed, I return to the bridge every autumn, hoping that one day, I'll find her again, and this time, I'll stay.